welcome to my next vlog, part of the new thing that I'm doing. Now hopefully over the next few years you'll see me improve my videography. I'm doing a little bit of work for Carbon Baits as well, and in the meantime, when I'm not doing work for them, I'm going to be filming a series of my vlogs on some of my latest fishing trips. You join me here on the wicked Hunts Corner at Linear Fisheries, mega water. We've come on here for a second year on the trot for a memorial match that we do every year for Carl Holmes. Perfect venue, great location, great fishing, great scenery. Now this session in particular, I did have a few issues with my camera early part, hence why I'm like recording the sound at home. The wind was a bit too much. So where do I start? Well, it's a two-part series. This first part is this year, the second part is last year. And the reason why I've saved last year's footage is because I had some wicked fishing, and I used the washing line method. See, and there's a great couple of tips and hints for you and ways to improve it. Now that is a deadly method, as you'll see from the footage later on. So we start off on this session, turned up to the swim. I drew peg 9 over the far side. I'm Larry No Mates over here all by myself, but the fishing was wicked. Turned up to the swim, fish topping everywhere. It was just wicked. So yeah, I think in the first 2 hours I'd had 3 fish, 1 in the sling, 1 in the net, and I was playing my third on a zig. Check out this little bad boy. What a way to start my session. A couple of hours in and it really kicked off, but man, that's a trick maker. Look at that, scales on that beast. Boom. Started off with a baiting pole down the right hand margin. Again, use the pole as much as I can. It's great little opportunities. Put your rigs in areas, not dangerous areas, but just areas that other people don't fish, you know. From peg 9 you've always got the tree lines to the right and left, but if you can just go that little bit further, sometimes that just can be the difference between catching 1 fish to catching, well on this occasion, 10 fish. So not only that, the fish were topping like mad, so I've put 2 rigs just straight out on top of them, tried on the bottom for half an hour, not a sniff, and then they were clearly up in the water, so that went 2 zigs, 1 a foot below the surface and 1 half depth. Sure enough, this scaly bangle was the result. So we had a nice couple of socials. Each night we wind in, have a barbecue or a takeaway, one or the other, a few beers, good catch up with all the lads, come back and catch a few more fish. Now last year Massey on peg 1 won it. He absolutely smashed it, 10 fish, had a huge weight. This year we have mixed it up a little bit just to try and make sure it was a little bit fairer. Top 3 fish. It was a winning weight, and yeah, so the first day I think I had a 17, an 18 and a 22 or 23. Then went for a barbecue, come back, baited the swim, had a few beers with the lads, come back, chucked the pole in, and within 2 minutes I had a banging 30 pounder and a 29. Boom! Check that bad boy out. Hey, 31 wheel. Hey, 31 pound, 4 ounces. Oh, I must admit, I didn't quite expect a lump like this, but proper buzzing with that one. So let's get it back and see if we catch another one. And luckily that was enough to win the trophy. So happy days. Continued catching for a bit, but then after a while I think I got a fish snagged up, so I had to go in and free it into the snags, and then after that really, so after that my chances had blown really. I caught mega well for the first 24 hours and then nothing really the last 24, but one of the other issues was the fish did start spawning, so at which point it was time to pack up and head off home early. But you know, that's fishing, got to do the right thing. You know, most of the lads caught from all over the lake, which is why this lake's so mega really, because there's a chance in every swim. Bobby Brooks started battering it on the far peg. That was nice. We had a few fish. He had a few fish and a few nice pictures with everybody, because we were all around there having a beer and he was catching. So mega session. And now it's on to the second part. Right, Hunts Corner, peg 1, which is wicked. give you a quick update. Been on a memorial match and we booked out the lake. We had it for the weekend, had an epic weekend, catching up with all the lads. And Massey, most people caught 9 out of 10 caught, which was wicked. Massey ended up smashing it from peg 1, so I thought, get in it. Anyway, I'm in it, first night in it. This is the morning, and yes, the fish have buggered off. Very frustrating, done exactly what Massey done, you know, prepped a couple of little areas just to give them a go later on, but yeah, very frustrating. I mean, the wind had changed a bit, but this lake's a bit strange. The you know, it was a southwesterly, but it was actually coming into us from the other end, but it was also blowing a hoolie down Massey. So yeah, I did first 48 hours in peg 8, which is another wicked peg. The fish were there massively on Friday night, and then after that they just vanished. And yeah, the lads up in here, 1, 2, 3, smashed it. They had a wicked time. Caught some nice fish up to about 27, 28. And yeah, me being me, thought, well, I'll have a bit of that, and you know, as anybody would, pack the gear up and come round here and just reserve the peg, because obviously Sunday new anglers coming on. Yeah, and then first night done, and there was a few fish here last night, but it definitely wasn't the same, and I've just not had the same success as Massey. I mean, he was catching a couple in the night and picking up quite a few during the day. So anyway, it's a mental battle, this one. Now, I do feel like I've got a scratch in a bite, but we'll come on to that later. After a frustrating and a very hard session, finally come good. I must admit, didn't quite expect it just yet, but yeah, it's been a frustrating little few days, but yeah, nice when it comes good with this this little warrior. Give me a right nice battle. Right. Right. Right, it's been a bit of a crazy day. I thought I'd just give you an insight on what I've done now. I'm not, I haven't hit it off big time, but I've had a lovely day. And I think I might be in. Hang on. Whoa. Yes. Man, this session is crazy. Funny. Whoa. Madness how your fortune can change, man. Been a bit of a struggle. Yes, I've done a few things wrong. Yes, my mind's gone crazy, but I never give up. And this is a whoa, she's a lonely thing. Right then, I don't think she's too happy, so let's you've seen it, let's get it back. Yeah, I'm catching when the swim looks like an absolute bomb-hole. 3 fish, 2 hours. Check out this little beauty. Now, might be little, but I'm happy. After quite a struggle, fish moving off, you know, moving pegs, fish moving off. Wondering if I could catch a carp or not. All of a sudden, within 2 hours, couple of fish, and yeah, everything seems a different place. So quite chuffed with that. I'll stick it back and get them sorted, see if I can do another one, and I'll tell you how I've done it later. Right then, yeah, so what I've been doing is the washing line method. I'm on peg 1 on Hunts Corner. Now, I've had it in a couple of various spots along the margin, been fish about, but the crays are battering me and just not quite happened, and for whatever reason. Now, one of the locals told me about another area to try, and as soon as I put the lead in, you just knew it was right. It was about another 2 foot deeper than every other bit that I found, so I just missed it, you know. But then, a new venue, you don't see every bit of nook and cranny and depths and all the rest of it. Is tricky, you know. You're only on for a period of time. There's fish showing, you just want to catch them without disturbing them too much. So basically, how it's worked for me is I've been casting over a pole, walking around to the far margin, or just to the side actually, this particular spot, coming down, bringing the rig in, and then basically sticking some bait on, putting it out with baiting spoon on the washing line method. And yeah, I had a spell earlier today that I just couldn't get a rod in quick enough. It was just literally, by the time I got back to the swim, the rod was ripping off. So been eventful. It's chilled out a little bit now, so I'm going to feed him. You know, we're about 6 o'clock on my last night. I'm going to wind in, give him like 2 hours, 3 hours. I'd like a bit longer, really, to be fair. I mean, I could put it in really late and just get their confidence back up, because there's no doubt I was catching that well, and then not to go, you know, a little bit without a bite. It's definitely spooked him a bit. So you know, I could find another spot, but it's my last night. I'm just going to keep at it and feed him, get him confident, and then hopefully by the morning or in the night I might nab a few. So basically, this is what I'm doing. There's a pole, and so I'll bring that in with the rig that I've just cast over, and then all I do then, sneak in here, is I've got some elastic bands on my pole. Now this is how I do it. There's various other different ways and stuff like that. I've just got an old indicator head, which my mate Bobby will curse me because it's a solar one and he reckons they go for quite good money, but it's using for fishing, and I've got no other spare, so that one would do me. Just got my baiting needle there, so basically I pull the line up through there, through the clip. The line comes across the surface and straight in under here. Now obviously if you are doing stuff like this, you need to be careful of what's around, so it's a case of having a real good feel, because obviously no good putting a rig if you can't get the fish out, or if it's going to get snagged. I'm not into that. As long as I can land them, you know, I'm happy, and if I can do it safely and efficiently, I will do it. But if it's too dangerous, then obviously I'll disregard it and find somewhere more suitable. You know, and it's worked today. I mean, I don't know how many fish I've had, but I haven't lost one fish. Well, actually, I tell a lie. One fish bolted off straight out to the opposite bank, about 40 yards run. I couldn't stop it. Weeded me up. And just as I was thinking about giving it a little bit more, I think it must have hit a muscle bed, you know, a muscle in the weed or something like that, and it actually snapped the hook link, which is the first time that's happened to me quite a few years. So nothing to do with the hooking, it's just a bit of unlucky. But right then, so at the moment, like I said, I've just hung my lead up in the tree, and I will come round last thing tonight, or I don't know, 8, 9, 10, see how I feel. But one little sneaky thing I have done here, which I have done before and thought of quite a few times when a few guys used to do it, the last fishery that I worked at. You know, if you catch a fish at the night, what you're going to do is you know, yeah, I probably can cast over that pole actually, because it's quite a wide margin, but you're fishing to snag, so it's a little bit tricky. So what I have done is set up my other little stalking rod, and I now have 2 leads in the trees. Both the lines are out of the water, so you're not going to get tangled or anything like that. And it means then, as soon as I catch one fish, I can have that rod back in within a few minutes. So a little bit more faffing around, but so many times today you catch your first one, you come around there, stick another bait in, by the time you got back the rod's ripped off again. So you know, would it have happened if I had to put the pole in? I don't know. You just don't know, do you? But in my mind it's got me bites quicker, faster. I'll get the disturbance done, and then I've got basically two opportunities to land 2 fish with that. So right then, before it cools it down, but basically you tension up, it doesn't look it much on the camera, but there's a nice bend in that rod, and what happens is when you get the bite, that just basically all goes slack, and you just wind in and hit it as fast as you can, basically. Although bizarrely today, first time ever, I've had the rod, rather than the rod go slack, it literally beep, and then all of a sudden the fish is taking line. Now I've never quite had that when you've got, you know, you've got 4 or 5 foot of slack there. No, you've got more than that, to be fair. But this session has been the strangest one. I mean, like the fish that we've caught, I've just never ever had fish fight so hard in my life. And funny enough, another angler that I was speaking to earlier today, he was saying exactly the same. Right, my cue to go in, I think. Get shelter and cover up.